It was crazy.
Okay, let's go ahead and get this program started. We will begin with a roll call. Do we? Yeah. Here. Yeah.
President Setzer.
Present.
Vice President Davidson.
Present.
Secretary Kincaid. Present. Treasurer Hahn.
Present.
Director Hector.
Yes.
Director Massime.
I'm pleased to say I'm present today, and I want to take this opportunity to wish you all a Happy New Year.
Director McGraw.
You know.
Director Raswally.
What's up, President?
Director Ricketts. Here. We do have a quorum.
Thank you. Rick Massime is an example that medication does work sometimes. Perfect, thank you. Okay, all right. Before we call the, we're going to add something to the agenda first. Okay, I'm going to make a motion to add an item to the agenda. I move that the Federation Board of Directors add line item to line item, make line item A under the new business agenda. It's regarding video retaining the video meeting recordings indefinitely.
Second.
You got a second? Any discussion at this point? All those in favor of adding it?
Aye.
Opposed? It is added to the agenda. Line item A. Very good. Thank you. I do call the meeting to order, and we'll stand for a pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, I'm looking at the open forum clipboard, and no one has anything on open forum. That's probably because there was no unfinished or finished business at that moment, so we're good. Unless I move to the line item number 2, which is the approval of the December 6, 2019 draft Federation Board of Directors meeting minutes. Have a motion to accept it as written.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Posted as written. If you have any questions or corrections, bring it to Secretary Kincaid's attention. All right, let's go to our reports. Starting with the management reports. Today we will start with Rick Doswell. I'll lull you in, Rick, then I'll flip it and we'll start somewhere else.
Live by satellite all the way. No, that's the ring. 2020, we're here. All of the Federation directors currently sitting at the table are all current owners of condominium parcels, single-family dwellings in the district. And that was checked out yesterday by me at the Hillsborough County Property Appraisal. So the 2020 annual meeting, first and second notices are continuing being mailed out to for each association. A lot of information when you get those. Each association gets their packet, whether it's first mailing, first notice, or second notice. Information that needs to be returned and coordinated with the association's community manager. We appreciate that coordination by them with you to make it a smooth annual meeting. And I want to say thank you to the associations and managers for submitting back all of the budgets by December 13th. So that will make this process of putting the packets together run even smoother. A lot of the work orders similar to December were similar to November in the high 20s, which is phenomenal. And so we appreciate the contractors' input and on making sure the landscape runs smoothly. Property transfer applications, we had 20 last month, but 42 leases, and those are slightly down from previous 2018 numbers. Again, as you get the information, your emergency update contact information sheets, continue to submit those back to our office so that we have a current contact information for your home and those that you want us to contact if necessary. And again, Happy New Year 2020. And my son's birthday's today, so happy birthday, Kurt. There you go.
Thank you. Thank you, Rick. All right. Next on the list there would be Ginger with the...
Can we hold for a minute? Rick, on your work order by type, you've got one now called requests. Could you explain what that is?
That work order is when a association wants to have a proposal, mostly proposal from a landscaper on any type of project, not just irrigation, but plant replacement, etc., put in the work order so that it's documented. What's happened in the past, good point, Dave, as you know, the communication has been between the landscaper and the board, which is necessary for these projects. However, we need the work order to peg all of the information that we get. So we need a work order created on any project, and we appreciate those POCs that are submitting in work orders for projects that they will be communicating with the landscapers on. Thank you.
Any other questions or discussions for Rick? All right, very good. Thank you, Dave. Well, Dan?
I just want to say hello. Hello.
Yes, I just want to say that on the morning of New Year's Day, Highgate 4 had an irrigation incident, and we're talking a 6-inch pipe blowout in a lake, not just water flowing, but a lake. And called the emergency number, and Mr. Doswell and ITS took care of it within 20 minutes.
Wow.
So we're real pleased about that.
And start the new year off right? Very good. Exactly. Set those high standards.
Rick, I just want to verify with you and with Mahabel that the entire schedule for the upcoming Federation Board of Directors election has been published to the board, and the notifications of the election will be going out along with proposal for nominations and the entire process. Am I correct? So that is all set for the SEC?
Yes, all set.
Okay.
Mabel's doing a great job on that.
Very good. Thank you. Anything else for Rick? All right. Very good. Next on the agenda will be Ginger.
Thank you. Well, Happy New Year, everybody. I don't know about you all, but it has been a very long year so far. Right? Starts early, doesn't it? 20 minutes. 362 days to go. We have been very busy, annoyingly so. We've got our entertainment series. I won't read through the numbers. Nothing has changed on there for the board. We are in the second show of our entertainment series. As you recall, it's sometimes unusual that we have a December show, so we're actually starting in January on a second show. Just going over to the projects in progress. Golf cart gate repairs have been completed. If you recall, a resident decided to ram the gate, broke the concrete slab, the chassis, all the electronics. That was quite costly. We have ID'd her. Kudos to the security staff who and IT who pulled that video footage and watched it over and over and found some identification markings on her cart and went and tracked her down in the community. So she will be receiving an invoice for those repairs. She's not going to like it. And we're also going to send her back up for what we paid for. We're not trying to make any money off of this or anything for the community. It's just she needs to make it whole. The gate did lose power due to some construction that was working on the gate, but it's fully functional today. So we'll see what else the day brings for us. 2020 flooring replacement installation. It's all ready to go. We're just waiting a date of installation from the vendor. Had some problems with water intrusion on that slab, as the board's been informed. We will get signage up because that will necessitate closing the fitness center for a couple days. They got to move all that equipment out and get the product in there and then recarpet it. So we will do that with plenty of notice. The COA floor installation has been completed. I spoke to Forrest. He's satisfied there is a threshold that needs to be leveled out, but that's done. And then there's the backflow preventer project. Just a quick note on that. We did have a preliminary test done on December 23rd. We were advised that the only areas that would be affected were 1902, 1904, and half of the clubhouse. We had planned for the county to come out prior to any operations opening, install their meter, and then Howie's would take over. In an overabundance of caution, I am told, the plumber decided to contact First Services, as is the way with shutting off water and things like that. We had no idea they had done that. In fact, I think Ma Bell wasn't even on, I think you didn't get the distribution. So I get a call from President Setzer saying, what in the hell is going on? So we canceled that because obviously that's not the way we do things. We want to have plenty of time to communicate to the residents. We apologize for the confusion. That it was just a real misstep all the way with different agencies. I think they were doing what they thought was right in the best interest, but it's just not how we do things. So we have rescheduled that. It looks like it's going to be later in the month on January 24th. We picked the one day in the clubhouse when the least amount of stuff is going on. We have association meetings, all sorts of things. But we think we can do it on that day, and the county has said they get out here right at 8 a.m., try to get their work done. If the county tells you it's going to be 2 hours, plan on 4. That's the way that works, but we'll do our best to not impact the residents and give prior notice. So I'll work with Rick again because they're probably going to contact. I think they were concerned that Cambridge might be affected, but our tests showed that they weren't, so we'll see. Again, apologies all the way around for how complicated that became. Just a note on security, just a couple notables here. A daughter of a resident called concerned about her mother, wasn't answering the phone. The officer got to the resident and she appeared confused and incoherent and in need of some help. So the squad was called and the daughter was then informed of the situation. I read these because this is what should happen. This is good for our community, and that we have the services for somebody to go out and help somebody, and the community, of course, residents, that you're the eyes and ears out there, and when you notice something that doesn't look right, we're more than happy to go out and see what's going on. And just last, a resident came to the gate and reported a man seemed to be shaving and taking a bath in the hot tub. You can't make this stuff up. And frankly, that's just gross. So let's just keep that to a dull roar. He was done by the time the resident bathing, by the time the resident got to us, but they're now on watch that if that happens again, we'll go inform him of the error of his ways. Finally, Matthew wanted me to report that if you're not aware, there is a new Holiday Inn Express in Ruskin, and they would love to be the preferred hotel for residents and any of your guests, and they will be offering a 15% discount per room per night. And Matt, where's Matt? I don't believe we have a code yet, but once we get the code, we'll provide it to you all or anybody who's interested or has guests visiting. So that's nice. It's a brand new place, and we're pretty excited about that. So that's it.
Ginger, could you just clarify on the 2020 building that that floor replacement is in the fitness center?
And the upstairs hallway.
And the upstairs hallway.
Yes.
And generally, the fitness center, the reason we have to replace that is because of water seepage that has been there
Yes.
since the building was originally built. And
We've had problems.
we've had problems, and that you are planning on sealing both the outside and the inside to eliminate that for future use.
Yes, we've got a number of different proactive, just not replacing the carpet. Gutters are in the plan. We also have a ceiling between the foundation, pulling some of the dirt away from the wall. So a number of different
I just
parts
thought it'd
go
be
to
good
that.
to clarify for those in attendance
Yes.
exactly
Yeah,
why
that
and
slab
what
has
we're doing.
always had some water intrusion on it. We have a number of dehumidifiers in there, but it's nothing we want to push to the point of any mold growth or anything like that. So it's pertinent that we change it now.
Thank you.
Ginger, I have a question on the 24th for the backflow, so there's not going to be water here in the clubhouse. Basically, are we going to make sure that there's signs that the bathrooms and stuff are closed? Because that would not be a good situation.
Yeah, it's not pretty. Typically, we close the bathrooms and I'd love to tell you I know the exact plan of which areas are going to be closed today. I don't, but we will communicate that fully before the 24th.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions? And Ginger, I appreciate you rising to the occasion. You and both Rick, when I make those phone calls, and I'm always very polite and calm.
You don't need to comment on it.
But we get things done, we make things happen, and that's what this board's all about, is getting things done and making things happen. I think we're doing it well, so I appreciate your work on that, particularly the backflow situation. I'm seeing recreational facilities quarterly final report, but I'm not seeing Dan Armstrong here today. So I mean, that's on the agenda, and I don't believe. Is that a? Okay, all right, very good. So it's on the agenda.
I think we're good. We're not that.
Okay, well, that'll be another phone call we'll have. Okay. Let's move on then to committee reports. I'll start on that end of the table with Dan Hector. Just keep it focused on your stuff. That'd be good.
Mr. Davidson will report on the contract committee. You're going to report on the other. So I have nothing else to report.
Thank you. Very good. Good report. Thank you. Thank you. Noreen?
Hello? Okay. The one thing we have going on, which is I'm so happy to let you know that we've come up with a way to put sliders, thank you to Matt, and he had some help there, to put sliders on the bottom of these chairs so that they will slide for us. So that's something that Matt has been working diligently on to help us get that done. And other than that, that's really about all I have on health and safety and
Very good.
what? Oh, okay. Well, we're putting sliders on the bottom of the chairs. Some people that play bingo and mahjong that use this room quite a bit, they've had a problem with being able to slide the chairs. Especially if you have a disability, it does make it tougher. So we went on this mission to try to see if we could correct the problem and do what we could and figure it out. And like I said, Matt worked diligently on getting that done for us, and we really appreciate it. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you, Noreen.
I just wanted
hold on.
to add, I think it's about $500 for all the, I mean, there's a lot of little feet out there. You can look around and see. And we tried like 8 different products, and these seem to work, and they're ordered, and when they come in, they're just little sleeves, and I think it's like a little silicone sleeve, but they seem to be more helpful in gliding. So we'll see. We certainly will hear back.
You know, I would like to thank Noreen and Frank and Matt for the work they did on this. Initially, we were going to put in a laminate floor into this room, and the main purpose was so people could move the chairs more easily. We found that that wouldn't even resolve the problem with these chairs. So it was a, what can we do in the alternative, instead of putting in a floor that would have increased the noise level in this room. And I appreciate the work that Noreen put into this, along with Frank and working with Vesta. It is a less expensive option, and hopefully it will work. And I know you tried many, many different things to fix the chair problem for the residents here. And thank you for all the work that you put into it.
Jack. Okay, very good. And I just want to clarify, when you were saying that you were going to put sliders on Matt, I'm like, that's going to be damn entertaining right there. Slide him across the floor and I think that's it. I'm glad. I see that. I see that. All right, next on the list will be Rick Massame with the KPCPC.
CPC has nothing particular right now. They're back from the holidays and doing good work. And as far as the education, the election committee goes, I have no report there since Jack has already coordinated with Rick. Thank you.
Landscape Oversight Committee. The committee's in the process of setting up a meet and greet with the landscapers. We're looking for the end of February, and we'll be sending out for questions, and it ought to be an interesting meeting. I know the landscapers are very enthusiastic about meeting everybody. So.
The insurance committee is currently working with Webb Milton from Bush Ross and First Service Residential's assistance on the RFPs. And we just met yesterday and finished answering the written answers for all of the written questions that the bidders have submitted. And those will be sent back out to them, and worked on the timeline. So we're now hoping to get the RFPs into the attorney's office by January 22nd at 4 p.m. And then we'll, as a committee, review those and have the interviews the week of February 3rd with the bidders. So that's where we stand with the insurance process.
Thank you. All right, Jack, any questions for any of these fine folks that have reported so far? Landscaping or insurance? All right, very good.
First thing I would like to make a note of is the board has had discussions on the minutes that are published. We have had numerous comments over the years that both First Services and Vesta's reports are generally not a part of the minutes. And going forward, First Services and Vesta's will be a part of the published minutes. So to keep consistent, we will include the reports from the management companies within our minutes when they are published. So if First Service believes that there is proprietary information within there that you would not, we could always remove that, but there's really nothing in your report as a general basis that would be of proprietary information. So to keep the residents more informed, we will be including these reports within the minutes as they are published on KPSCC. Okay. In regard to contracts, we are working diligently with First Service. Unfortunately, I have been giving the two young ladies off to my left side a great deal of hard time, as has Webb Melton on one small part of the contract. It has been referred up to David Diesel, who is the president of the Southeast region, to get it resolved. Hopefully we're going to have it resolved this week and be able to present to the membership next month a renewal of the First Service contract for the next 3 years. Hopefully the members will find that that is a very well done and very good contract. And we've taken a lot of things in and out of the contract to make it better And I appreciate First Service stepping up to the plate with an item we objected to from the board and said, we need to get this one item corrected for this contract to go forward. So hopefully we'll have that done so we can close the books on it in February and have it ready to go by the 1st of April. And outside of that, that's the only issue that I basically have.
Questions, so Jack?
Yeah, do you want to discuss where you said about the video recording microphone?
Not yet, that's under our motion.
It comes later. One thing I just want to mention in terms of contracts, that we will be looking at, excuse me, the waste management contracts are coming up for renewal. The county has 2 companies that they have approved, so we in the near future will be discussing those, that item.
All right, very good, thank you. Any other questions? Alan?
Yeah, let me just say the third quarter just ended 2 days ago, so I will have a third quarter treasurer's report at the upcoming membership meeting.
Okay, very good, thank you. Thank you. Frank, anything to report on Palm and Trees?
Okay, wait for it, here it comes. Palm Tree Committee did not meet over the holidays. There is no actual report. The only thing I can say is that we completed everything. Thanks to Marbell, she picked up on one community being entirely missed. We jumped on that right away, got them in there. They trimmed the palms and we followed up on it, made sure they were sanitizing their blades. So we expect to meet sometime early this year in advance of the trimming of the oak trees. So we'll be on top of that before it even starts. That's all.
Very good, thank you. Thank you. Any questions? We're good, very good, excellent. Last thing on the list is the president's report, and you can tell things are going well. I only have a sheet of paper in front of me, which is good. Actually, good morning to everybody out there. I hope you had a nice holiday and nice New Year's. You're here, so I'm assuming it was safe, and that's good. I think 2019 was actually a great start, and 2020 is going to be an awesome next step with this community. We've really gotten, I think we've moved a great distance in a short period of time. Things are coming together. Things are not all together yet, but they're coming together. The elections are coming up, and I will reiterate a little bit on what Jack was just referring to. This is the time of year where you actually have a real voice. It's your opportunity to do the simplest thing out there. You can cast a vote. You can at least participate. Or you can submit your name to be part of a district that has an open seat that will be up for election. I'm going to ask everybody that is in a district that will be in an election to raise their hand at this point. Every district, there should be 4 of us up here, right? Okay, very good. There's District 1. Your district what, Janice? 7. 9. 8. And 8. So those are the districts that are actually going to have elections this year, and I suggest everybody get involved. If you want to step up, step up. If you have an idea, share it. This is your opportunity to be involved and participate, not just cast a vote. So the next thing that we have on our agenda, just little updates here. Master Association and Federation merger, acquisition, constellation, whatever you want to call it. We're all still working at it. It's still on the focus of everybody. We're still here, and we're all still in favor of it. Federation, through Dan Hector's efforts, is composing a skeleton outline of our thoughts of what we feel a single, centralized board, a city council, if you want, whatever you want to ultimately call the thing, may look like and function like. We know the master has their thoughts mapped out already. We're open to meet once more with the master and the community to simply review where we may align on our thoughts currently and where we may have some differences as we think about moving forward. We'll then pass those outlines, both those outlines, off to the consultant that we've all been chatting about, and let them review it and give us feedback on where they feel we're on the right track or maybe off the right track. But from that process, we will continue until the plan is completed, the plan is presented to the members of this community, and essentially the community will determine what direction we go in. That's where it ultimately comes down to. We will come up with a plan, submit it to you guys. You guys will then get together and say, hey, this is what we want to do or not. So there's where we're at right now with that. We are still moving forward with the thoughts and the actions. Rumor control. It's been brought to my understanding that there's a few folks in the community that have expressed a concern about my non-retaliation tactics to comments that may be made where the Federation is not necessarily put in a formal kind of, or a positive way. I'm just that kind of guy. I'm not going to address an issue that doesn't really have anything other than maybe an emotion attached to it. I think we've actually all been moving together very positively. I think the comments have been very focused and very directed. I think everybody has their thoughts and their ideas, but in all honesty, I'm going to address issues that are issues. I'm not going to address issues that are emotional. So that's just kind of the way I am, and I think we've all risen to that occasion, and we will continue to move forward. I just don't play in that arena. I like to focus on goals and outcomes. I like to focus on facts. If there are some facts that are questioned, we'll examine them and make sure that we correct them and work on it. If there's dysfunctional areas, we're going to focus on that. We're going to fix it and make it work. And if there are personality differences, which happen everywhere, we're going to simply ask everybody to challenge themselves to rise above the personality and stay focused on the issues at hand. So that's kind of where we're at. There's also been some questions posed to a couple of our board members about the loan inquiry that's out there. There's no real status update. We're still in data collection mode and evaluation mode. There's nothing to really report. As soon as believe me, as soon as there's something to report, we are going to be able to get that information out so we can either address the issue or stop that conversation, hopefully forever. So that's kind of my goal, is to resolve it or to put it to rest. So that's my report for today, and that's all I have, which will take us to unfinished business. And I'm seeing none on the agenda. And the new line item under new business would be a motion relative to video retention of the videos for our board meetings. So I think Jack has the motion for that, correct? That'll be that right here.
I would like to move that the Federation Board of Directors approve the retention of all Federation Board of Directors meetings videos that were produced on or after January 3rd, 2020, indefinitely by the current management team. So that is my motion.
Do I have a second? Second. Do I have a Jack discussion?
Your board in its workshop had a conversation, and I will tell you, as we have done the investigation on the loan and we have done investigation on other issues, we have found that when you look at minutes without looking at the recording, you basically do not get the full picture of what is occurring. The board wanted to take and codify in its minutes a motion that all video recordings of both our membership meetings and our board of directors meetings will be retained indefinitely, so they will not be destroyed or altered. There will be a full copy of the actual videotape retained. It may not be exactly what is put out on the wheel, because we do protection for indemnification purposes, but we believe that it is in the best interest of the residents of Kings Point to ensure that these video recordings are retained indefinitely. So if anybody wants to go back for years and years, and I know Ginger's had to go back for us back to 2010, 2011, previous years with the refinancing the loan, we had to go back a number of years to get some recordings. We want to make sure that those recordings are always accessible and they are not removed or destroyed for any purposes, and that's basically why that motion is being made.
Thank you. Thank you. And I will also add to that, from the standpoint of the person that's actually looking over years of minutes that have been provided to me through both Rick and Ginger at many levels. Looking back through those notes, it gives you a sense of who wrote it. It's kind of like history was written by the winner, technically speaking, not necessarily. It doesn't reflect everything. So the video does tend to give me a really good idea of what was said compared to the notes. So I think it's a good idea to have those for our future, because we may not be there, and more importantly, memories and recollections change over time. So we make sure what actually happened so you can make the right decisions. Dave, you look like you want to say something.
Yeah, Rick, just a quick question. What's the current retention policy or the retention policy we've been using over the course of the, say, last 5 years?
7 years is normal. My only...
7 years is normal. Question that I had, Jackie used the word on or after January 3rd?
Before or after?
It should be.
It
It should be. I just wanted to make sure, before.
Since this is on me, I will ask.
Videotape
Yeah.
this, we can always run that back and take a look at it.
I would amend my motion
Yeah.
to before or after
Okay.
January 3rd.
So I'm assuming before, as much as we can
As
recover
much
in the
as we
archive.
have recovered and can archive, yes.
Is there a desired format, or just burn to a DVD, or?
Whatever format you currently have those in,
Okay.
and whatever format that we use going forward, that is the format we
Okay.
use.
We have saved some to thumb drives, but depending on the type of operating system in the computer, sometimes those aren't the best for everybody. So I
We
think
just
the
want to make
DVD
sure
should
that
burn
we
them.
have copies of
Yes,
them.
absolutely.
And they are available to
Sure,
us.
no problem.
Or a resident if they request them.
Yep.
Okay, do we need to add that? Where and how the store, we need to add that to the motion?
They're stored by the management company.
Yeah, that'll be up to the manager. Right, exactly. All right, very good. Any other discussion? Any questions?
You have the amendment to the motion, correct?
I would actually just, I would only.
I would only suggest that the management company store it in a manner that will allow for current and future technologies. I know, it's hard to determine what a future technology is, but if you have some of us remember videotape and cassettes and floppy disks that were about the size of this folder. So if...
Carbon paper.
Exactly. So if current technology is acceptable, certainly, but there should be a way to transfer it should a new technology become standard.
I think that should be standard, yeah.
Just to
I'm
throw that
sorry.
out there and make it difficult for you.
Can I ask another question? You just have federation, not membership?
No, federation.
Just,
And memberships.
okay.
Well, the membership will have to vote on that.
Too.
The membership will have to vote on that, but they won't. Okay, very good. Okay. We can amend that too.
It is the Federation Board and Federation membership meetings that are recording, and those are what would be retained.
Say it again, Jack.
Jack, would you like to restate the amendment and
I will restate the motion in
Incorporate
its
all of the
entirety.
changes.
I move the Federation Board of Directors approve to retain the all Federation Board Directors meetings and Federation membership meetings produced before or after January 3rd, 2020 indefinitely, and they be retained by the management company in a format that is accessible to be modified as technology so dictates.
I second the motion.
Second, hang on.
Thank you, Dan.
I hesitate to ask any other conversation here. All right, let's call the vote. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
That's why we're on the contracts.
There we go. No other new business at that point, so I will go for good and welfare announcements. Do we have anybody, good and welfare, that would like to make an announcement? Forrest, step on up there.
Happy New Year to you all.
Thank you.
Doing a great job, and I appreciate it, as well as the community. Just want to report today so that the community is aware of that the KPW annual membership meeting will be held on Monday, this coming Monday, January 6th, at a Veterans Theater, and that's going to be starting at 1 p.m. The COA monthly business meeting will be held this coming Wednesday, January 8th, 2020, in the banquet room starting at 2 p.m. Speaker for the afternoon will be Deputy Sheriff Jeff Mary. He will be discussing local crime trends and crime prevention. There will also be a question and answer period. The COA will also be holding their annual Wine and Cheese Gala on February 15, 2020. Tickets will go on sale on Wednesday, January 8, 2020. The grand prize is a colored TV, usually a big one. Won't be a tiny one. And with numerous prizes donated by the various clubs and management companies. And we appreciate all they do for us. One other thing I would like to ask the board, now that you're going to be including the management reports in with the minutes of the meeting, I would request that the good and welfare also be included in there, because and what the topics are, only because we get a bland message saying and other community events. So if we could, maybe add that to it. I'm just requesting that there, and hopefully that'll be done. And we can hand in our sheets to Ma Bell if that's approved.
We certainly consider it. Forrest, I'll only say this. Since KPW is meeting at 1 o'clock on January 6th, or January 6th, right, this year, putting that in the record, we know that it will meet, but I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. It's a one-time event. That would be the only reason it wouldn't be necessarily good, important for history, but it's worth considering, and we certainly will.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Right.
So we don't really have to put the dates and time.
We can do that.
Place.
Is that correct, or he said to just put the topic? We don't really need to put the dates, the time.
We'll discuss it. It's worth discussing. Thank you. Very good. Right?
Greg Glover, President of the Rules Association. We have an annual meeting coming up on the 17th. On the 17th of January, right after the membership meeting. And I'm here to plead to get in, please, the limited proxies from the presidents. This lets you be eliminated from the meeting if you so desire. And these can be picked up at the COA, and you can turn them in there for us to work with. That's it.
What was the date again?
17th.
That's the next membership.
Next membership meeting. We're after that. And we know how people like to stick around for an extra half an hour.
Thank you. Thank you. Ralph?
Not today.
Either way.
Hello, my name is Ralph Belcher. I'm president of Kings Point Pottery Club. And I'd like to announce that our annual fundraiser will be February 29th, which is Leap Year Day. And we were going to sort of do Sadie Hawkins, but that's so little Abner. So what we're doing is Leap Year. And we have, tickets will be on sale for this. They're very inexpensive on Mondays and Fridays in the lobby. Now, we're going to have tremendous, if you attended last year, you know we have tremendous gift baskets on a silent auction, lots of pottery and things, and our display of frogs that will be on the tables will be on display in the South Clubhouse before the event, like part of this month at least. And we're making these frogs to commemorate leap year. And no, not wart year, leap year. And warts are from toads. Anyway. So this fundraiser is really a great benefit to the club, and that was partly of how we could afford to buy the clay for the bowls for hunger, which that event is this month. In, if you haven't found out about that, please check that out, because that is a very worthy cause. But see you at the ticket table. Alberta will be twisting your arm to buy those. Are they $6, Alberta? Correct. $6 American dollars, please.
Okay.
Our link letter, yellow money.
Okay, all right, very good. Very good. Thank you, Ralph. Very good. Excellent. We need to, I'll show up on that. I've got to see the frogs, man. That's no question. Any others? Go ahead.
I have, at the, let's see, that would be November, we made at the Federation membership meeting, an announcement that on February 29th, we were going to have the emergency preparedness, the big to-do about what things that you can do to prepare in case of emergency. Well, that's been canceled, and it's moved to February 25th, and that's going to be in the Veterans Theater. So I just wanted to let everybody know, because we had first announced that it was going to be February 29th, and it's been moved to February 25th. So I just wanted to let everybody know so you can change your calendars. Thank you.
Thank you, Maureen. I'm Ryan Setzer. I'm the director of District 1. I just want to let everybody in District 1 know that on January 21st at 3 p.m., and I haven't set on the room that we're going to be in yet, but January 21st we're going to have our district meeting and discussion kicking off 2020 to determine where we've been and where should we go from that district and our focus. So that'd be January 21st, District 1 owners in that area. All right, very good. Also, I did get a note, we're going to stay for a few minutes after I adjourn the meeting. We'll do kind of a town hall open forum. Just anybody has general questions they want to ask us, they can feel free to ask us. We'll spend a few minutes either answering them directly or looking for research, go do research to find those answers. So is there any more good and welfare announcement that would be done? Looks like we are at the point in the agenda where we call for adjournment. Have a motion? All those in favor of leaving? All right, very good. Leave. Thank you. Anybody who has a question, give us a couple of minutes. Anybody who wants to leave? Exit expediently, and we'll do some questions then.